boys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Another week of predictions need to be made. Tomorrow, or today, there's a Premier League game at 3 o'clock my time. It's Brentford versus Watford. That should be a good game. We'll get into the prediction in just a second, but before we get into it, last week I got 8 points just like the week before. That takes me up to 95 points for the season. This has been a good season for me in terms of points, even though it's my first time. So I don't know. Anyway, shall I just get into it? First game is Brentford versus Watford. Brentford and Watford are kind of similar in ability this season. Watford have only actually drawn one game this year, in comparison to Brentford, who I believe maybe they've drawn like 6 games. Let me see how many. They have drawn 5 games this year. Now, Watford have actually not drawn a game away from home. They've won 2 and lost 5. Brentford at home, they're 16th in the league in home form. They've only won 2 home games all year. This one I'm going to go with a draw. I feel like it just adds up to be a draw to me. I mean, Watford don't draw that many games, but this time I think they're going to draw to Brentford. And City versus Wolves. Listen, Wolves used to have City's number. When they first joined the Prem, 2 wins from 2 when they first, in the games they played City. City have since learned to cope with Wolves. Wolves are going to set up, they're set up defensively nowadays. They don't score many goals. They don't concede many goals. For that reason, I'm going to go with a 1-0 City win. They lost 1-0 last week, Wolves, to a late Divock Origi goal. Arsenal v Southampton. I'm going to go with another 1-0 here. It's going to be a boring week. These are some boring predictions for me, I know. But, we Willie Caballero's in goal for that game. But unfortunately, Arsenal are going to make it difficult for ourselves. We might even not win that game. But I'll go. This is the next game, Chelsea versus Leeds. Chelsea, I don't know what's going on with them. There's a lot of injury problems at Chelsea right now. They fell off recently. They lost to West Ham at London Stadium. They drew at Zenit. They beat Watford at Vicarage Road, but they drew to United as well. Ever since that draw against United, Chelsea have been out of form. Now, they've been hit with injuries. I know that. And I think that's the main reason. If they can get a lot of their guys fully fit again and get out of this injury crisis, they'll be good. But I think this is the game where Leeds finally come to life. They're sitting 15th in the league with only 3 wins on the year. They drew Brentford 2-2. That was a great game. Where Bamford equalized in the 95th minute. But in general, right, like, I mean, Leeds are not that great this year, but I'm going to go with the shock win at Stamford Bridge for Leeds. Liverpool versus Villa. This is the match of Steven Gerrard. He's back at Liverpool. He's back at Anfield. He's going to get a hero's welcome. This is going to be a game that you won't want to miss. It'll be 3-2. It'll be scintillating. It'll be electric. It'll be close. Liverpool will get the job done. Just. Norwich versus United. Unfortunately, Norwich, I backed them last week to get a draw against Tottenham, and I was completely wrong. I'm not going to back them this week. Whenever I back them, they're shit. So, there you have it. They're going to lose. They are going to lose 2-0 at Carrow Road. Brighton versus Tottenham was postponed. We will move on. Burnley v West Ham. I'm actually going to change your prediction quickly. Burnley v West Ham. That's going to be a 2-0 West Ham win. Maxwell Cornet's out for Burnley. That's a big miss. Burnley missed attacking threat when they are missing Maxwell Cornet. It's going to be 2-0 West Ham. Burnley, not great, losing at Newcastle. Speaking of Newcastle, we'll move on to Leicester Newcastle. Leicester apparently have a COVID crisis, which I didn't know about. If this game does go ahead, I could see Leicester losing it. I could see him losing it. I could see him drawing. I'm gonna go with the 1-0 draw. Like, to be honest, Leicester apparently are in a bit of a COVID crisis right now, so we'll see what happens there. But to be fair, they still have some starters. I mean, if you just look at their last game against Napoli, look at their starting 11. It was strong. They had Vardy in there. They had, I mean, all things considered, James Maddison was there. Harvey Barnes was there. Dewsbury Hall scored. Ndidi and Tielemans and Bertrand and Soyuncu and Evans and Castagna and Schmeichel. I mean, that's still a really strong bench. I mean, starting 11 now. The bench was a little weaker, but their team isn't weak by any means. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw, though. Palace v Everton. This will be a 2-2 draw. Selhurst Park. Palace, I think it'll be... Yeah, I think they'll draw here against Everton, but it'll be a very good game. Everton beat us. I'm salty about that still, but we moved. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Game Week 16 Premier League predictions. Peace.